You've been taught that to win people over, you need to do more, say more, show more. But the men who hold the deepest power say less. They don't perform. They don't entertain. They contain. When you enter a room, what speaks first isn't your words, it's your energy, your posture, your gaze, your stillness. Most men leak presence. They fidget. They explain. They apologize before anything's gone wrong. But when your nervous system is trained, when you breathe slowly, even when your chest tightens, when you walk with direction, not haste, the world adjusts to you. This isn't arrogance. It's alignment. You're not forcing control. You're embodying it. That's the difference between pressure and gravity. Pressure pushes. Gravity pulls. If you're in a relationship, understand this. Your woman doesn't want to lead. She might test you, but not because she hates you, because she needs to know you won't crumble under weight. When she's overwhelmed, she doesn't want a fixer. She wants an anchor. And if you're single, know this, the first thing she feels isn't your looks or your clothes. It's the quality of your stillness. Mystery is magnetic. We live in a time where everything is overshared, every thought broadcasted, every emotion dissected, and in that chaos, mystery becomes power. Understand this. Curiosity is the foundation of attraction, not understanding. Curiosity, predictability makes you comfortable, but it doesn't make you magnetic. When a woman can read your entire script in one conversation, she's already checked out. But when she has to lean in, when she wonders where your attention is, when she can feel that you care but can't quite place why you're not chasing, she becomes emotionally involved. Not because you manipulated, but because you moved with depth. If you're always available, always reporting your mood, always explaining yourself, you're not building connection. You're giving away all your contrast. Stay grounded. Stay open. But keep a piece of yourself unreachable. Not to play games, but to protect the sacred, the part of you that only grows in silence. You're not a puzzle to be solved in one sitting. You're a myth to be slowly revealed. Status is subconscious. Whether we like it or not, people make judgments in seconds. And status, not the kind with cars or watches, but the felt sense of value shapes how others respond to you. When others respect you, she senses it. When you walk with purpose, the world reflects it. When you speak with weight, people pause, and she notices. This is why men who are respected by others often never have to prove themselves. They're not performing. They're simply living with direction. Your value isn't just in how you treat her, it's in how you treat your mission. If you're single, understand this: women rarely choose in a vacuum. They choose based on how the world reacts to you. Are you moving with conviction? Do others look to you, learn from you, follow your lead? If you're in a relationship, don't get lazy. Don't let comfort become softness. She still needs to see you admired, still needs to feel you growing. Not because you're flaunting, but because you never stopped evolving. Your growth is not about outgrowing her. It's about outgrowing your past self every day. And when you do that, she doesn't just love you, she respects you. Emotional leadership is non-negotiable. Most men reflect the emotion of the moment. If she's happy, they're upbeat. If she's stressed, they're anxious. If she's angry, they either fight back or fold. But emotional leadership is this: you hold your center regardless of what others feel. You don't mirror chaos, you transmute it. When a woman spirals, she's subconsciously checking one thing. Can you hold the energy she can't? Can you stay soft without being passive? Can you stay firm without being forceful? If you're single and she pulls away or sends mixed signals, most men panic. They over-explain. They over-pursue. You stay steady. You're not indifferent. You're simply anchored. If you're in a relationship, emotional leadership becomes your superpower. She can cry. She can yell. She can test. But if you remain calm, present, and composed, you give her what she can't give herself in that moment: safety. Here's the truth. The man who can feel emotion deeply but not be ruled by it is the man who becomes her emotional home. You don't control her feelings. You model what peace looks like. And that's what she truly desires, not a man who bends with every breeze, but one who remains still when the wind roars. Detachment is power. Neediness is repellent. Not because desire is bad, but because dependence is. If you can't walk away, you can't lead. And if you can't lead, you can't be trusted. The deepest attraction happens not when you're most agreeable, but when you're most self-honoring. If you're single and she's inconsistent testing, pulling back, most men try harder. They chase. They lower standards. But you release. Not with anger, not with ego, with peace. You don't withdraw to punish. You walk away to protect your integrity. If you're in a relationship, boundaries are not ultimatums, they're standards. When she crosses a line, you don't yell. You exit the space because your self-respect isn't for sale. And the man who won't trade it, not even for love, is the man who is never forgotten. The deepest love is not begged for, it's earned. And it starts with you loving your own peace more than anyone else's attention. The modern man is enslaved not by chains, but by mood. He does what he feels like. He moves when inspired. He quits when discouraged. And this is why so many drift. Not because they lack potential, but because they never learn to go beyond themselves. Discipline isn't a punishment. It's the highest form of self-respect. We live in an age of emotion worship. Follow your feelings, they say. But feelings are not gods. They're weather patterns. They pass, they shift, they mislead. If you only act when you feel good, you'll never become anything worth remembering. Because every man has moments of fatigue. Every man doubts. Every man gets tempted by comfort. But only the man who can act regardless becomes free. You think self-control is hard? You should try being ruled by your emotions your whole life. That's harder. That's heavier. That's hell. If you're chasing greatness in love, in purpose, in legacy, there will be days you don't want to show up. Do it anyway. That's what makes you different. Most people look for hacks, for ways to feel more motivated. But you don't need more motivation. You need structure. A life designed by you, not by your feelings. The man who creates rituals, who guards his mornings, who protects his solitude isn't rigid. He's powerful. Because the world doesn't give power to the man who feels the most. It gives power to the man who can command himself, despite what he feels. Solitude is sacred. In silence, most men run. They grab their phone. They fill the room with sound. They avoid being alone with their own thoughts. But here's the paradox: if you cannot sit still with yourself, why should anyone else want to sit with you? Solitude is not loneliness. It's not punishment. It's purification. The unshakable man makes friends with silence. Because in solitude, he doesn't lose connection, he deepens it. He hears what others can't hear. The quiet truth underneath all the noise. In a world addicted to external validation, solitude becomes your sanctuary. Not isolation, that's avoidance. Solitude is intentional. It's where you reconnect to your inner authority, where you stop performing and start aligning. If you're constantly seeking company, if you're always afraid to be alone, you haven't met the man inside yet. Take time to walk without headphones, to sit without distraction, to ask yourself hard questions and listen long enough to hear the real answers. Who are you when no one's watching? What do you want when no one's feeding you applause? Solitude sharpens a man. It turns him from a mirror always reflecting what others want into a flame, burning with his own light. Become dangerous in peace. There's a quiet power in a man who knows he could destroy but chooses not to. That's not weakness. That's measured strength. The world teaches men to be soft, to be harmless, to be palatable. But harmlessness is not virtue. Virtue is power under control. The unshakable man isn't violent, but he is capable. He's built his body, sharpened his mind, forged resilience through discomfort, not because he wants to intimidate, but because he refuses to be unprepared. If you walk into a room and everyone knows you're strong, not because you say it, but because your presence carries it, people move differently. This isn't about aggression. It's about readiness. The man who trains regularly, who sharpens his skills, who embraces challenge, he becomes a fortress, not a wall that blocks love, but a gate that only the worthy pass through. This kind of man doesn't dominate. He doesn't threaten. He simply stands in a way that says, I am not easily moved. And that calm danger is magnetic. Lead yourself before you lead others. Everyone wants to influence, to be followed, to be seen as a leader. But leadership isn't granted by titles or Instagram bios. Leadership is earned in the trenches of your own life. Can you lead yourself when no one is watching? Can you show up for your goals without applause? Can you make hard decisions without reassurance? Because before you lead a woman, before you guide a family, before you move a community, you must be the one man you yourself trust. When your words match your actions, when your standards aren't flexible just because you're lonely, when you can confront your own laziness, your own self-deception, your own chaos, and win. That's leadership. It doesn't start with followers. It starts in your mirror. And the more you lead yourself with discipline, clarity, and consistency, the more people around you naturally begin to follow. Not because you force them, because they can feel it. Build a legacy, not a lifestyle. We've been sold the lie that success is about lifestyle. The house, the car, the likes. But lifestyle fades. Legacy remains. The man who lives only for comfort will never know peace. Because peace isn't found in what you collect. It's found in what you create, what you give, what you leave behind. What are you building that outlives you? If you're chasing women just to feel wanted, chasing money just to be seen, chasing attention just to feel valid, you're already bankrupt. The unshakable man doesn't chase lifestyle. He builds legacy. He thinks 10 years ahead, 20, 100. Not because he's detached from now, but because he sees beyond it. He's not asking, what feels good? He's asking, what matters most? A life built on instant gratification collapses when tested. But a life built on vision, that's a fortress. Build something that lives beyond your name. Something that speaks when you're gone. That's legacy. That's what the unshakable man aims for. Your life is a fortress. Each of these rules is a brick. Each choice you make in silence a stone. Each time you say no to distraction. Each time you say yes to discomfort. Each time you hold your frame when it would be easier to fold. You are building, not for others, not for performance, but because this is who you were born to be. We live in a world that rewards attention, but the unshakable man rewards alignment. He doesn't chase trends, he walks with timelessness. He doesn't ask, what's popular? He asks, what's principled? And that's why he is remembered.